Welcome to Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey into, well, a really fascinating and often debated question. Does being a genuinely good person truly come at a cost? Or is it an entirely selfless, totally free act? We've gathered some intriguing perspectives that offer a wonderfully nuanced view on this, and our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack the real price and maybe the surprising rewards of things like kindness, empathy, and integrity.
It's a concept we often simplify, don't we? We tend to assume goodness is always altruistic, always without any personal drain. But as we've explored this idea, it becomes clear the reality is, well, far richer and more complex. We're looking at a tapestry woven with emotional, social, and sometimes even, unexpected financial threads. It's rarely just black or white.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. Our first thought, maybe our knee-jerk reaction, might be, of course, being a good person is free.
Right.
You don't need money to be kind. It feels instinctively like something that shouldn't have a price tag attached.
Precisely. And from a purely emotional, psychological standpoint, so much of what we consider being good costs absolutely nothing tangible. Think about it. You can listen actively to someone, really hear them, without spending a single cent. You can choose empathy, offer genuine compassion, extend respect, or even forgive someone. These aren't, transactions. They're internal choices. They stem from your own being, not your bank account.
That's so true. Yeah. It brings to mind those moments where, the most profound impact someone had on you came from just their sheer presence. Or maybe a few well-chosen words, a simple gesture, or just that genuine intention behind it. It's about being present, being truly there for someone. And that rarely shows up on any kind of financial statement. It's an investment of self, maybe, but not currency.
Absolutely. It really boils down to the quality of human connection, doesn't it? That willingness to extend yourself without expecting something transactional back. These acts, though they seem free, can be profoundly transformative. Like, imagine a friend struggling with a loss. You might spend an hour just sitting with them, holding space, offering comfort. That hour isn't billed, obviously, yet its value is immense. For them, and maybe for your own sense of purpose, too.
Right. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. While a significant part of genuine goodness is free in that tangible sense, our exploration also reveals situations where being a good person absolutely does come with a cost. What are some of those less obvious, maybe often overlooked prices we might pay?
We definitely uncovered several clear examples. Firstly, there's the undeniable investment of time. Think about someone who calls you in crisis, or someone who needs help moving, listening deeply, helping them brainstorm, or just accompanying a friend through a tough time. These actions consume your time, real time.
Yeah, time you could be using for other things.
Exactly. Time you might otherwise use for your own personal pursuits, for rest, for family, maybe even for work that pays the bills. Every minute you truly dedicate to connecting with or supporting someone is a minute you've literally given away from your own finite life.
And beyond just the ticking clock, there's also that emotional toll, isn't there? It's not just about the hours spent. It's about what those hours demand from us, like inside.
Unquestionably, there's a significant demand on your emotional energy. Being deeply empathetic, really trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes, it can be incredibly draining. Feeling what others feel or carrying the weight of situations you can't directly fix can actually be quite painful sometimes. It can lead to genuine emotional exhaustion. You're essentially opening yourself up to someone else's pain, their frustration, their sorrow. And that requires significant internal resources just to process and manage it without getting completely overwhelmed.
It's a kind of emotional labor, really, that often goes totally unacknowledged.
That's a great way to put it, emotional labor.
So we're talking about an investment of personal resources, time, energy, not necessarily a direct financial thing. But the insights we looked at also touch on actual money, don't they? It moves beyond the intangible.
Yes, absolutely. In specific context, being good can indeed have a direct financial cost. This might be something as straightforward as, say, helping someone out economically who's in real need, or making a heartfelt donation to a cause you truly believe in, or even just, buying a meal or a coffee for a friend who's having a rough day and clearly needs that small lift.
Simple gestures, but they add up.
They do. These are choices where your goodwill translates directly into money leaving your pocket.
And maybe one of the most impactful and ethically tricky examples is when being good means refusing a corrupt opportunity. Like, imagine a situation where taking a shortcut or bending a rule, maybe just looking the other way, could mean a significant financial gain for you or a huge jump in your career. Choosing integrity over that personal gain, that's a profound financial sacrifice, isn't it? A direct cost for sticking to your values.
Absolutely. That's a powerful example. The research really highlights that kindness and integrity can carry a very real price, especially when the system around you or the circumstances kind of incentivize you not to be good for personal gain.
Right. The pressure is there.
It underscores a deep commitment to positive values and actions. And while it doesn't involve like buying goodness, it certainly demands that investment of time, emotional energy, strong personal boundaries to prevent exhaustion, and sometimes, yes, even a direct financial loss or missed opportunity. It's about choosing to uphold your values, even when it's inconvenient or, frankly, expensive.
So, okay, given these potential costs, our time, our emotional reserves, sometimes our money or career prospects, what does this all mean? Does the good we do ultimately outweigh these investments? Is it, truly worth it to keep making these kinds of sacrifices?
Well, if you look at it from the perspective of humanistic psychology thinkers like Carl Rogers, the answer is a pretty resounding yes. Rogers really emphasized that authenticity, empathy, unconditional positive regard, these are profoundly transformative forces. When we help others, genuinely care for them, act justly, it doesn't just benefit them.
It benefits us too.
Exactly. It gives us a strong sense of purpose. It deeply strengthens our own self-esteem. It helps us build real, profound relationships. These are invaluable returns, things money can't buy, that often far exceed any direct cost you might tally up. Think of it as investing in your own deeper well-being, that joy of genuine connection and meaning. That's a powerful currency in itself.
That sounds incredibly rewarding. Yeah, like a definite net positive for your overall mental and emotional health.
Right.
But this exploration also brings up a really critical counterpoint. The potential dangers of being maybe too good. There's a fine line there, isn't there? Between generosity and, well, self.
Oh, this raises such an important question. It really does. So many genuinely good people find themselves feeling completely worn out, maybe resentful, or just emotionally empty, because they haven't learned how to set healthy limits, or how to simply say no.
The no is hard.
It is, and the insights from psychology really stress that being good doesn't mean being a martyr. It just doesn't. It's about learning to care for others without neglecting your own fundamental needs. Kindness, at its healthiest, should never be confused with submission or a lack of self-worth or this idea that you have an endless capacity to give without ever replenishing yourself. It requires a delicate balance, often a difficult one to find.
This resonates really deeply with the point we explored about, helping people without expecting anything back,
Yeah.
only to find yourself kind of forgotten or maybe only called upon when another favor is needed. I think many of us have probably experienced that sting of disappointment or disillusionment, where your generosity isn't just unreciprocated, but it feels like it's taken for granted. It can feel like a real betrayal of that emotional investment you made.
Scenario is its psychological impact. See, when you give from the heart, human connections fundamentally thrive on some level of emotional reciprocity. It's not usually about expecting a direct, material, tit-for-tat repayment.
No, it's deeper than that.
Exactly. It's about a fundamental human need we all have. To feel seen, to feel valued, to be remembered for who we are, not just for what we can provide. And when that reciprocity doesn't happen, when someone consistently takes them without acknowledging or offering anything back, even just genuine thanks or presence, the unconscious message you might receive can be profoundly damaging. It can feel like, I am only valued when I am useful to you.
Oof, yeah.
And that can really wound your self-esteem. It can erode trust. It can make you hesitant to engage in future acts of genuine kindness, even when you want to. It sort of corrodes the very foundations of authentic connection.
So if you've been in that position and you decide, okay, I need to change my approach, you start setting those much-needed limits, maybe saying no more often. Does that suddenly make you a bad person? Does it somehow cancel out all the good you've done before?
Not at all. Not even slightly. Setting limits isn't about ceasing to be good. It's really about maturing in your goodness. What truly defines a mature, compassionate person is learning to distinguish between offering genuine, healthy help and allowing yourself to be perpetually used or drained. We often mistakenly confuse being a good person with being constantly available, always yielding, always giving, without any regard for our own well-being.
Right, the doormat syndrome.
Kind of, yeah. But true goodness also includes the wisdom and sometimes the sheer courage to say no, especially when you realize your energy is being dangerously depleted or your fundamental value as a person is being consistently ignored. It's actually about protecting your capacity to continue being good in a sustainable way. It's not about turning your back on kindness itself.
That's such a powerful reframing. Okay. So, for those of us trying to navigate this complex landscape of giving and receiving, how can we actually apply this wisdom in our daily lives without burning out, but still being the good people we aspire to be?
Well, the path to sustainable goodness, I think, really begins with self-awareness, just noticing. So one practical step is to really observe the dynamics in your relationships. Pay attention. Who genuinely seems to value you and the effort you put in, versus who only seems to pop up when they need something. And this isn't about judging them harshly. It's more about helping you manage your own emotional and energetic investment more wisely.
Just recognizing the patterns.
Exactly. Recognizing patterns in your interactions.
That makes so much sense. It's like knowing where to best direct your limited resources, your energy. Okay, what's next?
Next, learn to give with wisdom. Being a truly good person doesn't mean giving absolutely everything you have until you're totally depleted. That's not sustainable. It's about giving what's appropriate for the situation, what you realistically can give, and this is crucial, with clear, healthy limits in place. Your resources, your time, your emotional capacity, your finances, they're finite. Think of it like a well, maybe. You can draw water to share, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you just keep drawing and drawing without letting it replenish, eventually it's going to run dry.
That's a fantastic analogy. Okay, so what if, even after trying to be wise and set boundaries, some people still don't appreciate your efforts? That happens.
Oh, it definitely happens. And that leads right to the third point. Accept that not everyone will value you equally. And that's perfectly, absolutely okay. It really is. This acceptance is incredibly liberating, actually. It gives you permission to step away without carrying guilt from those relationships or situations where you consistently feel unappreciated or taken for granted. You're not responsible for how others perceive your value. You're only responsible for how you uphold your own integrity and well-being.
Letting go of the need for everyone's approval.
Precisely. And it sounds like the most crucial piece of advice really circles back to self-care, doesn't it? Looking after yourself in all this, indeed. The final and maybe the most critical piece of wisdom is just this. Do good, but never at the expense of breaking yourself. Always remember, you are also a person worthy of care, compassion, and respect. Your own well-being isn't just some luxury item. It's a critical component of your ability to continue being a good person in the long term. You're not solely here on Earth to rescue others. You're here to live your own life with integrity and, yes, well-being too.
And it really brings us back to that powerful phrase we encountered, the one that kind of encapsulates all of this. It feels like a true north for navigating these often tricky waters of kindness. Being good doesn't mean being foolish. It means having heart and also having judgment. It's about leading with compassion, absolutely, but always with discernment, always with wisdom, ensuring your kindness is sustainable and truly impactful, not just depleting.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that goodness is an active, conscious choice. It's a commitment. And yes, it brings immense personal rewards, but it also demands that wise management of your resources and those clear boundaries we talked about. It transforms simple acts into meaningful, sustainable contributions that enrich both the giver and the receiver. It fosters true connection, not just obligation or exhaustion.
Wow. This deep dive has truly given us so much to think about. It really reminds us that while goodness has immeasurable, often unseen rewards, it also profoundly requires wisdom and self-awareness to make it sustainable.
It really encourages all of us, I think, to reflect on our own acts of kindness and maybe ask how we can ensure our generosity enriches both others and ourselves. How can we foster that true connection rather than ending up feeling drained or resentful? It's about nurturing your own spirit while you're lifting others up.
Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to our next episode.